Hello, and welcome to another exciting Kings of War battle report. Before I dive into the battle today, a couple apologies. One, it's been a couple weeks. Sorry about that. I think they're going to be about one every month with a couple sporadic extra editions. I am not actually going to be able to keep up that pace of once a week, once every other week. Thank you very much for those who put their input in on whether or not I should do the intros or if you wanted more videos. I really appreciate it, even though it ended up not mattering. Second apology, I do have a cold right now, so if I sound a bit off or I cough a couple times, apologize ahead of time. Figured I got to get this out while I have the chance. This is going to be a little less formal and a little less detailed than the previous battle reports for a couple reasons. One, this battle was from a couple of weeks ago, so I don't remember all of the details. I'm hoping a lot of it comes back to me as I go through it. And also, it was a less formal game to begin with. I was at a local hobby store and just saw a couple people playing Warhammer 8th edition, and I got really excited and just asked one of the guys if he'd be interested in trying out Kings of War. So we met up a week later, and we played a demo game first where I just kind of threw a couple models down and made sure he had a lot more units than I did and went over the basics. And he picked it up really quickly. I mean, if you know how to play Warhammer, Kings of War is a very, very smooth transition. I think it's a better rule system, but the core concepts are the same, just cleaned up. So it's always impressive to me. I've done this about 3 times now where I've kind of pitched the game to somebody I used to play fantasy with or a new fantasy player and gone over how the mechanics work. And it's always really fun to see how quickly they pick it up and grasp it, and I can just tell that as they play it, they start to really enjoy it and appreciate how much better it is in a lot of ways. But anyway, I took a bunch of pictures of that demo game. I wasn't sure. I thought that might be it, and I wanted to get something out. But then he really enjoyed it and wanted to play a real game. He could kind of tell that the first game was a demo game, and he was supposed to win. So he wanted to play for reals. So we quickly threw together just 1,000-point lists. They're probably not exact. I don't remember exactly what they were because it was really just to roughly add up this stuff, get to about 1,000, put it on the table, and we can play a game. But it was a really fun game. I love Kings of War. I look forward to playing it more soon. I'm just going to talk about how the battle went, and let's go ahead and go through them. So deployment. I kind of castled in on the right side, the archers on the far right, spearmen on the hill in front of the 2 bolt throwers with the mage and the battle standard bearer, and then the chariots to the left of them. And then I put just my troop of cavalry way on the far left. I'm trying to get this strategy to work where I've got a strong core, shooty core that tries to get the enemy to come to me. And while they're distracted with that, I'm trying to get flanks and rears with a faster moving unit. So work in progress on that strategy. I don't know that I would have deployed this way. I forgot about the Palace Guard. And I don't think I would have deployed them out there on their own like that. I think I would have switched the Palace Guard and the chariots if I did it again. I just had we were kind of rushing to get this game going, and I forgot I had them. So right before the battle started, I said, "Oh, my Palace Guard, mind if I throw them down?" So that's where they are. It worked out okay. Well, not for them, but for me. All right, so first turn. I don't remember who went first, but this is after we each have had a turn, and the cavalry on the top of the picture there just 18 inches, this incredible move. They're almost as fast as flyers. Got right behind his line. He went first. I'm almost positive now because I don't think I would have moved if I had gone first with the cavalry like that. So he goes first, and he just kind of moves up, trying to stay out of charge range for most of my guys, knowing that some are within charge range and using the terrain where he can to dissuade me from charging in. Stupid Pathfinder. I've been playing Forces of Nature for almost all the games I've played, and I was so excited to play a new army. And guess what is an almost universal rule for the herd? Pathfinder. Yep, more hiding in the trees. So, end of his second turn here, and he could have charged in with that character on the chariot, but he didn't want to expose him by being the only guy charging in. and wanted to make sure that the Spear Elves couldn't charge the flank of those elite, I don't remember what they're called in Kings of War, Bestigors, Longhorns. That's what they are. Yeah. Didn't want the Spear to charge the flank of the Longhorns, so I used the Chariot to protect them. And I made sure to get lots of close-ups of his army because I thought it was really well painted. And it's always fun to play against those armies and to review it. Really detailed. He even painted the eyes. I noticed that while I was playing. I don't usually paint the eyes on my guys. I think that's when you're looking at it from table's distance. I don't think it's necessary, but when you look closely, it sure does make the miniature pop. So then on my turn, I move the archers up right in front of his Longhorns to make sure that they can't charge one of the bolt throwers or anything else. If they're going to charge anything, it's going to be those archers, and that's fine. It's a 100-point unit or so. And the spear charged into his chariot, which was great. Charging a chariot's always great. Take away that thunderous charge. And my chariots charged into his tribal warriors in the middle, and couldn't quite. I arced the cavalry around, and so I think next turn they're going to be able to do some damage, but I couldn't quite do anything with them yet. So then on his next turn, he charges the palace guard with the horde of minotaurs, or whatever they're called in Kings of War, and they have a bit of a point-off competition there. And then countercharges with the tribal warriors into the chariot, and countercharges with the character in the chariot into the Spear Elves. And then I ended up wavering the Longhorns, so he couldn't charge the archers. He had to just sit there, which sure worked for me. But those Minotaurs were brutal. Horde of those guys, if you've got the models and a herd army, start using them, because they just smashed through those palace guard. Even with the inspiring, I think I needed double ones. He did like 12 wounds. So by the end of his turn, the Spear Elves were fine. They were taking some damage, but fine. He did waver the chariots, but then on my turn, I had a flank charge with my cavalry, so I'm pretty sure I just destroyed that unit at that point. I think I don't think I have a lot of pictures after this, because I focused on finishing up the game. This was the second game we played in a row, but we'll see if I can capture the rest of the battle. And my shooting had wiped out the Bestigors in the previous turn, the Longhorns. So they were destroyed, and then I actually charged in with the archers into the flank of the character in the chariot, and charged with the spear. So the archers did really well, actually. That double attacks can sure make a difference, even if you're hitting on 5s. But the Minotaurs had broken through, destroyed the palace guard, and were seeming very menacing. But the bolt throwers, as you can see here, were aware of the problem, pointed it out, and focused fire. And I got kind of lucky with my roll, because I did manage to waver them with just one. I think both bolt throwers shot into them, or one of the bolt throwers. 3-4 wounds, something like that, and I wavered them. So I rolled well. So they had to just sit there and take another round of shooting, which was great. I think if I hadn't wavered those Minotaurs, I think I would have lost this game, because my flank was totally exposed over there. There was nothing guarding it. It was going really well everywhere else, but I was still stuck in combat on the right half of the board. So, and those guys, even charging the front of a unit, will destroy anything in my armies. Pretty much anything, because they've got crushing strength too and thunderous charge too. There's nothing I have that's going to stand up to that. But fortunately, they were wavered, and so there was some tribal warriors behind them that weren't really doing anything, and then they were just sitting there. And then the next turn, I think I just fired everything into them and managed to kill them. And then the rest of the game was kind of just cleanup. His character went down with that double charge, and then I don't know, we may have called it at this point. I don't know. It was a couple weeks ago. So again, sorry. I look forward to doing more detailed and formal battle reports again soon. I got a couple weeks off in December, so I'm really looking forward to diving back fully into Kings of War and doing those more detailed battle reports and picking up with some of those intros to the battle reports. But over the next couple weeks, I want to try and get one more light battle report in where I just take some pictures and talk about it afterwards. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed this. I think it was a really fun game. I really enjoyed playing it. I hope to play this guy again. He had a great looking army that's always really adds to it. I just love playing with the painted minis. I think that's just the best way to enjoy the hobby. So, yeah, looking forward to new army lists coming out next month. Uncharted Empires, and hopefully we'll get more battle reports in soon. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.